Welcome to Being at Home with George. I'm excited to be here, and I'd like to start the way we usually start is to say yes to life, embrace whatever comes up, and at the same time generate the hope and make wise choices. And so, thinking about the current state of affairs, I'd like you to engage me with a little experiment I like to do. And experimenting is a really good way to learn. And so there's a quote that I love by Einstein that says, the significant problems we face today cannot be solved at the same level of thinking we were at when we first created them. So just think about that. So whatever the problem is, if you're thinking about the global problem or the day-to-day problem, whatever, the idea is that how do we change our level of thinking? And one of the things I want to suggest is we begin by this idea of developing a paradigm. So I have this glass of water, the proverbial glass of water is half empty or half full. And so one of the things that I'd like us to explore and investigate, because we have this ability to be self-aware, observe things, when we are looking at a problem, are we looking at it from the half empty, half full? They're both correct. But when you see things as half empty, you're coming from survival mode. You're coming from fear. And 9 out of 10 thoughts are going to be negative. Why? Because the reptilian brain is observing and looking for danger. It's actually looking for danger, not looking for solutions. And so we understand that. So when you look at it from half full, then you're coming from abundance, not from scarcity, and you're coming from the growth mindset. It's more apt to ask questions like, what's the lesson? What is this? How do I solve this problem? So you actually raise your level of thinking so that you actually are moving more towards the solution rather than the problem. And the interesting thing is, and this is what's really important, is that on a cellular level, we are either in survival mode or growth mode. We're either coming from half empty or half full. And so if we know that, the first thing we want to do is be aware, okay, when I'm approaching a problem or when I'm looking at things, am I seeing it as half empty or half full? And even if you don't remember that part, you'll see that there'll be some constriction, there'll be some fear, there'll be the thinking, your self-talk will be more negative. And if you're coming from the half full, then you're looking at it. And the whole thing about this process is if you're into it, if you want to engage in it, to bring curiosity and interest. And this is an experiment to learn. And it's not about doing it right or wrong. It's about paying attention and noticing things, noticing when we're in survival mode and when we're in growth mode. Noticing when I have on the fear glasses versus the love glasses, because that has everything to do with how I see things and how I perform. So let's just keep it really simple. But the question is, am I seeing things as half empty, half full? Both are right, but they have a certain psychology, a certain way of being that's attached to it. So I'd be curious to see how that works out. But in my mind, that's what I'm doing all the time. When we talk about it, sometimes we talk about, we have the text messages in some of my courses where you'll get a message during the day that says, are you in survival mode? Are you in growth mode? Are you in fear or are you in love? And these little things can be really powerful because once we can change our level of thinking, then the problems we confront will be easier solved.